Hey guys!
Hey!
Robin!
Jack!
We're the Inwits.
We are.
We're back. I'm back.
From Europe.
From
not
Europe.
tanned. I
Not tanned. I did say it would have been funny if I was actually on Survivor. But that's just cruel to both of us, really, isn't it? I was actually in Europe. And apparently we've got 5 episodes to get through. So we better just...
And another one comes out tonight.
And another one comes out tonight, which we'll get, I think we can do on Monday.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then we'll get back into routine.
Yeah.
But let's just get on with it, shall we?
There's a lot to get through. 5
episodes, let's start. You've got the notes. You lead us.
I do. Survivor episode 5. Steph goes silent. Gets nothing.
Yeah, and gets nothing.
Right? But this is after Michael plays the island.
Yeah, so this is after Michael does his James trick, which I didn't mind.
No, it was really good. But anyway, so
which we discussed. Yeah, we discussed.
Yeah, Steph, Jenna, and Michael obviously got to do some damage control here. Look, one of the good things I thought in this episode was Chris actually talks to Donovan. Like, he realises he doesn't have much of a rapport with Donovan. So he actually goes up and he sort of sees Donovan's in, a bit of a teary state after the coffee, and he talks to him about, and he tries to establish a rapport with Donovan by saying, "Oh, look, you look after your grandma. My mum's in a assisted living situation, and all this sort of stuff." And I thought, look.
From Chris,
that's a big move.
That's strategy from Chris. You don't think you'd get that from him.
It was surprising. Yeah, and he did it strategically as well. He said, "Look, I hadn't established it." He knew what he was doing. Yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't a
credit where credit is due.
Exactly, it wasn't a side of Chris I thought was really there. But,
I wouldn't have seen that either from Chris, because he's so me the whole time. So that was not.
So look, really, the episode boils down to like Steph and Michael.
That said, because I've just had the quick.
Go.
I like the 2 challenges we've been given. I think I have seen one where they've been pulled back before. Yeah, may have, but the 2 challenges were nice and refreshing as well. So I did. I think
the challenges this season have been really
the challenges are great. Right? Yeah.
But look, basically you're left with after they've failed idol attempt. Steph, Michael, and Jenna have to basically pitch themselves to the group. And the washout is, look, surprisingly, Michael was the one that did all the stuff, but he manages to pitch himself to Bradley enough
to come off the best.
Exactly, that Bradley actually chooses Stephanie to go home rather than Bradley.
Yeah,
rather than Michael. And Michael was the instigator.
Yeah, Michael did it all, and none of his tribe knew about what he was going to do really either.
Exactly.
He just had his own little plan that he's going to try and save it, and they forgave him for not keeping him in the loop. They seem to forgive him for just playing the game, which is great. Which is great to be forgiven for having a shot.
But you know what? I like that Michael actually went and pitched to Bradley and to the others in the group. Yeah, he actually tried to sell himself before the tribal. He tried. He tried to pitch. He pitched again at tribal. Yeah. Right. He kept pitching.
And he was also pitching the moment he got back from the tribal where he did it.
That's right.
He was in recovery mode straight away, and like we say all the time, you don't want to do it the day of tribal and at tribal because it's too little, too late. He came back, and there was a moment where he's like, I had to do it. We respect your gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. It was really well done. Michael, through these episodes, I think it's a bit of a threat here. Michael's turning into a real survivor.
Yeah, for an 18-year-old.
And he's only 18.
Yeah, he's doing very, very well.
You would expect this kid to be a bit, not socially developed and all that, but he is reading people. He is saying things to get himself out of trouble.
But he's also an underdog here.
Always.
He's got physicality, which makes him a threat, but he's also on the bottom of everything. He was just sick of being on the lower.
After he's played with the idol, people understand he's actually got a brain. Yeah. He's got brawn, he's got brains, right? This is a real threat.
He is a real threat, but he's still playing really well. Throughout the game, he's playing really, really well.
I'm getting a lot of respect for him. Like I said, he's only 18. Right? Yeah. You would expect, a bit of fluff.
Where he's sitting at the moment, I'm very worried for him.
Oh, I am too. It's like his head's just on the block.
But but he's a survivor.
Head, this is the thing though, from the previous episode onwards,
his head's always on
his head has always been on the block. So I really enjoy Michael's play at the moment. Steph goes home. She's the choice. Jenna and obviously Michael pitch well enough that they don't. Yeah. And I think that's what came down to. I think it was just like who pitched best.
Is there another episode I missed? Because I haven't seen Jenna either.
No, Jenna's around. She's done around much though.
Yeah, I'm
she's
like,
been doing a really good job of going, I'm on the minority, but I'm just not here.
Like, part of me goes, I just watched them all,
It's
obviously,
like
yesterday and the day before.
But it's like Sebastian. You very rarely see Sebastian.
You very rarely see him, but you know he's there. I forgot all about Jenna. I was like, who was that? When I just had, I'm like...
Look, I don't forget about Jenna, but to me, Sebastian, I don't know if it's his game plan. I don't know if he's, riding coattails, but he is just invisible at the moment. Nobody's bringing him up at all.
No.
He's just not... He's not in the councils, you know?
Yeah, he's also falls victim to... He's a fit kind of guy, but he's not a strong guy. He's not a massively strong guy. He's just slim and skinny. But then you've got your Chris, you've got your Michael, you've got your Wendell, you've got some other, and you've got your Dom. You've got your other male dominant figures there that he...
But that's what I mean. He's just in the background, just
chill.
He's
just chill in the background. And he's okay.
I think I'll go down the beach and do my hair.
Yeah, he's okay with that, and that's not a bad thing to have either.
Look, that's what I
don't might not win you the game, but it gets you further.
Well, that's the problem I've got with Sebastian. Is like, as I often say, you've got to start making moves somewhere along the line, and Sebastian doesn't even seem to be in the mix.
Yeah. And
so when it comes crunch time, which is, once you start getting below 9, it really gets crunchy.
Yeah, we're getting towards that. But it's all but if you're already playing before then, you've got to really, if you're not,
you don't have the experience to make the moves when you do get to there. There's 2 tribes and they split into 3. Yes. And the new tribe is Yunuya. I got to say that right? Really interesting split though. I've never seen this on Survivor.
Didn't we say that also when they did a mix up earlier on? It was like half,
right?
And we spent, I think last season we were talking about it never gets half. It's always one under one or two with the rest. One or two with the rest.
Here we get
half again.
A 3 split. They split them into 3 groups. And there's 3 Naviti on each tribe and 2 Malolo. It's just unbelievable.
Is it set up? I hope not.
So do
but
I.
What are the
That's right.
chances of that happening?
Chris is interesting in this episode because he sits there and he says, look, he's talking to Laurel. And he says, I've told Jenna that I used the model, but I am a model. And then he says he's on the camera. I know, but he says
this was the stupidest moment in this season.
He says in his one-on-one to camera, the reason I don't tell people that I'm a model is because they may think I'm self-absorbed. Yeah. And I'm laughing.
You've only spent 20 minutes talking about yourself.
Exactly, right? I mean, this is a guy who can't stop talking about himself.
And then on top of that...
And I was like, they don't need the model part, Chris.
Yeah,
they know you're self-absorbed, right?
Yeah, we get it. And if you said that, it's no shock to us. But he also said something else. What was it? He was like, he's like, and he's meant to say, I'm going to benefit from them knowing. But he said, I'm going to beneficiary
or something.
But it's like, you got it wrong. You're just saying how you're not a dumb model. And then you're stuffed up with your bloody words.
But I love Laurel's one-on-one to camera after she's listened to him. She's like, oh, that's just Chris. She's like, he's self-absorbed.
Yeah, we know this.
We know he's but I'm just happy he's the competitor. Just... It doesn't matter as long as he's willing to compete. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's like, you can kind of shut up and bite your tongue when Chris is by himself.
Yeah.
When Chris is with Dom, that's when it's hard to deal with. But when he's by himself, you can let him talk about how amazing he is, how brilliant he's done this and all this other stuff.
Interestingly, this is the episode where Bradley goes, I am playing an A+ game. I am doing everything right.
Yeah, but what did you see that I didn't see that was this? Like, I don't know where this sentence came from. Like, why do you think you're playing an A+ game?
Look, to me, he was just like...
Because also the editing, I think, around that was how annoying he was to everyone else.
Well, no, this is the thing. We don't really see that till next episode, right? Yeah. But this is the thing. I'm like, he sits there, he comes out with this great... I am so good at this game. I'm great at this. And I was like, what evidence are you basing this?
Yeah, I'm like, where did you get that from?
Right? But
just because you assume you're the top and you're controlling people doesn't mean you're playing a great game, because sooner or later, if you're controlling everyone and they know you're controlling them, you're playing a terrible game.
Absolutely, right? And look, this is the thing. I think he's mistaken that Chelsea and Callan, right, who was the girls he was with from Naviti, are sitting there just voting Naviti. He's not in control of anything. He's not playing a great game. They're just playing numbers.
They're just playing the numbers game, and he happens to be the one
exactly
commanding the orders.
So anyway,
that was the same thing. I'm like, yeah, you're going home very, very soon. If it's not tonight, it was the next week.
Oh,
and sure enough, that's exactly what
well, this is the problem with, this is the great thing about Survivor. You can go there, and if you could act for 39 days straight, if you could pull off an act where you actually present yourself as someone different, that would be an amazing, like, give them an Oscar. Just give them up. Because your true personality, the chance of your true personality not coming out,
so this is
39 days.
This is my thing. If you were Debbie and you made it to the end and then just dropped the mask and were like, actually, this is who I am.
That would be amazing.
I would give you the $1 million because that's
absolutely.
brilliant. Because you fooled me to being, I believe you're an idiot.
It's so hard to keep your true personality hidden. In this game.
And it's funny. I think Bradley says that quite often. He's like, I know my personality's a bit.
Well, in this episode, he actually goes, the next time he goes, something about, look, I can be a dick, and that's normally where it goes off the rails. That's what he says in his little line.
I know, he says that to the camera. He's like, I can be a dick and it goes off the rails, but I'm playing an A+ game. I'm like, well, when do you think you're about to be a dick? Because you can't keep that hidden for 39 days.
That's right, you cannot keep it hidden. Right? But anyway, so it's interesting. Malolo goes to Tribal. And what you've got is, Callan and Desiree. Mm-hmm. And you've got James and Michael on there. And Angela's in the middle.
Angela's swing. And she's also been backstabbed by her tribe
exactly.
already. She's not... Yeah, this was interesting.
It was an interesting episode because, really, I don't... Because James made the pitch to her that the girls were tight. Mm-hmm. And the thing was, the girls actually said to her themselves, Callan actually said to her on the beach, me and Desiree are really tight. So that tells you, to me, that would instantly ring an alarm bell. Okay, if you two are really tight, that means you're just using me as a third. Yeah,
you'd think that.
But the problem, I think, for Angela was this. She could look at James and Michael and go, well, they're tight. Whichever way I go here, I'm not going to be in the top of the three. I'm going to be at the bottom.
Bottom of the three.
And I
guess she went with the numbers in the end, because when they merge back together, I'll be with the bigger numbers.
Exactly, and I think that's what she's done. I think she just played for herself there and just gone, I'm ex-Naviti, even though they stabbed me in the back, I've got two Naviti here I can maybe trust. And maybe when we get back...
It's the other ones I didn't trust. It's these two I do trust.
Exactly. So I think
that's fair.
I don't think there was a lot in it for Angela. I don't think it was a big decision in the sense of I think it was just like numbers in the end.
Like numbers down the track, not because in the moment the numbers didn't matter.
That's right. So James goes home,
and knowing we can't be far off a merge. And
exactly.
Which we merge basically 2 episodes next.
Well, So then we get to episode 7. Michael goes out and looks for an idol. Because now, after, obviously once James goes, he knows he's 1 versus 3. So he goes,
there's no swing.
And look, he does the right thing. He says, look, I don't care if they know if I'm looking for an idol. Yeah. Because he's really got nothing to lose at that stage. Yeah. And this is what a lot of people don't actually cotton on to. There's a point where you just go, who cares if they know if I'm looking for an idol?
And it helps, when you can't have that mentality day one.
No. Oh, that's
you can't
deadly.
Have that mentality. But especially when you're in a situation where it's like, well, it is 3 versus 1.
Yep.
I need the chance. But funnily enough, him looking for an idol, that never went anywhere, did it? No one was like, I think Michael's got an idol. That never became a thing.
I think mainly because A, they don't go to tribal next. But B, I think the thing was, the only choice for Desiree and Callan at that stage would be whether they vote Michael and he's got an idol, or whether they vote Angela because he might have an idol.
Yeah.
You see, I don't think it was a big thing because there's only 4 left.
Yeah, and I think also maybe when there is 4 left, and this is going to sound really weird.
Yeah, go on.
When there's a lot of people, and I'm saying this is also your first day on the island, there's a lot of people around, and someone leaves the group. You kind of notice. I'm like, oh, that person's not here because we're all together and we're all. But when there's 4 left, you've got a bigger camp.
It's easier to disappear because there's not eyes everywhere.
Yeah, there's less of you, so you'd feel like it'd be harder to disappear. But those 3 are off by themselves having a chat, and they'll probably be leaving him quite often alone.
So he can just wander off.
Yeah,
But no, look, I thought Michael did the right thing there. He was like, I need it. I got to go get it. And he went and did it, and he didn't care if they knew, which was
And
great.
This is the same episode, I think, that Wendell also went looking, didn't he?
No, not this episode.
That's the
Oh,
next-
yes, sorry, no, you're right.
Because
Yes,
Wendell was
Wendell
like,
went and got an idol.
I've picked up, I'm pretty sure it was Wendell, was like, there's things on the
Yes.
island.
Yeah.
And then straight after Michael had found his stick, great, I'm loving that.
It's not an idol, it's a stick. I love
but
that.
now it's been 10 years on Ghost
It's actually
Island
an
and
idol.
it's developed into an idol.
But,
Right.
but you know what I was surprised at? You know, the tribal, when Michael hands it in.
Later down the track. Yeah.
Jeff goes, this is actually an idol.
Yeah.
And everybody was
shocked.
Yeah, everybody was shocked.
What
I
are
was
you
like,
talking about?
why
That's
wouldn't
gotta
it be an idol?
That's going to be the reaction
Yeah.
from...
Right.
It's going to be a different cut, because I was
I
the
don't
same
know.
thing. I'm like, come on,
Come
guys.
on, yeah. But anyway, look.
But yeah, Wendell had a really
yeah,
great thing. I've been
that's right.
looking around for things that stand out, and this tree, wrapped in another tree, looks like a
looks
marking.
like a something. So, but that's the way it is with idols. Like, and I actually like the way the idol. You know, I like the way the idols are sort of looked for now. People don't wait for clues anymore. They go out, they look for landmarks or something that stands out, and then they look around it.
Yeah.
You know, like when Michael
But
went
also,
looking.
the same token, I also, this season, I kind of like, because we've got so many.
Yes.
It's not just, because yes, go looking, forget finding a clue, I'm finding the idol.
Oh, well, they may find a clue.
But like
you
this
know,
one,
yeah.
he finds a clue with a
Yes,
map. And
with
I
a
was
map.
really excited. I'm like, oh, there's a map's back again.
Yeah,
Because
that's
they go
great.
straight to, here's the idol buried here. It's great to get that little, because it used to be, you need this clue to get this other clue, which leads you to a map, which leads you to the idol.
I would actually prefer them to do that, right? They don't just, like, a lot of people just go out and they find the idol now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they haven't been putting the clues out. Maybe they bring it back. I hope they do, because that's a lot more fun.
Yeah, I like that little bit of added bonuses to it, where it is like, it's for an audience. It's like, he's got this map, and he's like, okay, so this tree, I've got to walk here.
Exactly.
It's more fun. It's more risky and challenging, and it makes
it's a bit
it
more like pirate treasure hunt.
it's a treasure hunt. And
an island,
and then when we
so-
get the next episode, we're going to be jumping around, aren't we?
Yeah, exactly.
But when Chris gets his clue, or his thing is like, you've got to
Oh,
sneak
that's
out.
awesome.
A
That
boat
was
will
great.
pick you up and take you to Ghost
That
Island.
was really good.
You know, those things are fun.
They are, and you got to do it more often. But anyway, you're right. Wendell gets an eye. Callan goes on and gets an extra vote.
Yeah,
She finally
that's
plays.
right. She plays this time.
But when they get back to the challenge, they Naviti, which is Bradley, Dom, Chelsea, Donathan, and Livy.
they've lost.
Right.
They've lost the challenge. Which is
They've got the reward challenge.
Oh, the reward.
meat. And
Oh,
this
yeah,
is
yeah.
where
Wait, yes.
this is where Bradley just
This is the reward. This is when they're holding reward.
Yeah.
Before you get onto that, they had this challenge last season, didn't they?
I actually
was it
can't
this
remember
range
the challenge
season?
off the top of my
It was the
head.
challenge where they had to hold the rope, and they had
Oh
to go
yes,
and
yes
take
they
it
did.
in.
Yes, they did. Yes.
Do you remember last season when they did it? They struggled at the start, and then all of a sudden they worked the trick out.
One of the groups worked out really early on. If you can actually hold it steady with 3 ropes, and they just had the other person hold the rope, not put any tension on it, and they just zipped backwards and forwards and boom, boom, just built it. Done.
Yeah.
It was done.
This one, aside from Donathan, I felt everyone else couldn't work that little trick out.
They couldn't.
Well, I'm like,
And-
we just saw, but maybe they're filming when this is airing. So,
Yeah, I
so they
don't
didn't
know.
see that. So I'm like, they haven't worked out the trick.
I was
this time
expecting the same thing. I thought, oh, well, you would have seen that episode, so you'll do the same.
around. Because that's a challenge I feel like should be gone.
Yeah, so do I. If
Just
you can work it out with 3.
Yeah, if that becomes a thing now, it's like, get rid of it. But so I don't think we'll see it again.
But anyway.
We'll go back, yeah.
Anyway, so they
Yeah,
get
so
back
Bradley's back.
the reward. And this is Bradley, like, he's like, Donathan, he's 4 times at Donathan.
Yeah, and he's also been at Donathan at the challenge.
Right, at the challenge. Then he's going at Dom for not building the fire, and Dom's like, well, I'm ready to build the fire. He's like, well, build it, you know.
Yeah, he's like, well, I can't build it because you're making your bloody barbecue. Like, I can't build the fire when you're standing on the fire pit.
But this is the thing, like, Dom, Chelsea, Libby, and Donathan all go down to the beach, and the topic of conversation is what a dick Bradley is.
And here's the thing.
Right.
Bradley, as little as 3 days maximum ago, has just gone, when I'm a dick, it goes off the rails. You're being a dick. Do you not know when you're being a dick?
Right. But this is the thing, he must have seen the reaction. Right? He must have looked at Donathan, and instead of going Donathan 4 times,
I'm sorry.
after the first time, you must go, hang on, maybe I should rein this in a little.
Yeah, because
right?
my A+ game.
Yeah, it's just going out the window.
Well,
right?
maybe he just got too, and this is obviously a flaw.
Well, he
too
said,
confident.
I think what it is he said he said he's not a very patient person. He obviously isn't, and he was starving. So he just wanted that stuff to be cooking, and then they could talk. But this is the problem. He decided to be overbearing about it, and basically say to everybody else around him, "Look, just shut the hell up. Get this cooked so I can eat, and then you guys can do whatever you like."
Yeah.
And but then you're saying it's really all about you.
Yeah.
And you're really just screwing yourself. And Dom and Chelsea, who are his tribe mates and have been since the beginning, turned like that.
Because there's a moment in time where it still hasn't really happened enough in this season where you go, you know what? Just because I was forced with these people doesn't mean I have to play with these people.
Dom made a really good point in this episode. He said, look, even though he's been part of my tribe and we've voted together up until now, can I afford to go forward with him when he's like this?
Yeah.
And Dom's made the correct choice. No, I cannot.
Yeah.
I can't. This guy's a liability now. And
look, some people do go, well, some people have that strategy, well, I can deal with them and no one else can. Means I'm going to drag them along as I can. But
they're an obvious target for sure, but you have to wear it.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to take that on board. Wear it. And now you're not just looking after yourself.
Exactly.
You've got to look after you have to manage everything they do and keep them in check to keep them going along further.
The amount of resources you're putting into making sure somebody else survives when they're like that. I mean, you are basically in damage control 24/7.
And you don't want to be like that.
Right? Even the way they sleep can end up annoying people, right?
Yeah.
You're basically in damage control with these people 24/7, and that's a hell of an expenditure of energy. And to make that choice, I think is a big call.
Yeah.
I think Dom and Chelsea there made the right call, right?
Just get rid of it.
Get rid of the liability.
Yeah, exactly. You can't, and you can't have that sort of ego, that self-centered, yes, but it's just so, just always looking down on everyone else. Like, I'm so much better than you, ego floating around. It's just not good for a tribe vibe.
It isn't. That's right. Anyway, look, you want to keep winning. This is the other thing. Even though you're in separate tribes and everything else, you still want to win.
Yeah.
Right. I think this is where Malolo really found out when Callan, Chelsea, and Desiree were there. But anyway, we'll get on.
Because the challenge there, Des takes control, doesn't it? It becomes and she blows up.
Yeah.
Because what was the challenge?
The puzzle. When
the
they were blind.
Oh, when they had to yell at each other, which I liked because we get this blind challenge all the time.
Yeah.
And it's a fun challenge because there was some big heavy hits.
Usually somebody hits their head, and
there was a lot this one.
Yeah,
there was a few that I'm just like, especially whichever the girl who just gone. Libby was that Libby just straight into the pole. That looked painful.
Oh, that was painful.
But usually, once you got the puzzle pieces, blindfold off, make the puzzle.
Yeah.
This was great. This is like now you have to make the puzzle.
That's right. Even when they were saying flip it over.
Yeah, flip what over?
They would mean like that.
Yeah, and
but these would go like that, and they would go,
I loved that they kept the blindfold on and have to call out to control. I really like that. But Des said something really. I found what Des said here, and it followed up in the next challenge as well. I think she said, "I wanted this to be my time.
Yeah,
I wanted to be able to take this and say I did it, not I did it, or whatever she said." And it's like it's a funny. Yeah, we all want to be that hero that saves the tribe. It does the good thing. We all want to be Chris with the arm who just
exactly
the target.
Or Wendell, that challenge where he just basically blitzed, running up and down and saying,
Yeah, so you all want to have that moment. But Des, for some reason, really wants this moment. I don't know why, because she wanted it there and she stuffed up. And then the next episode, she goes for another thing instantly. She goes to be the person and she can't do it and they switch it out. And I think Michael comes in and does the hooks.
Yeah, that's right.
That was because I think Des came in and went through
like
two.
And actually, she threw two. Then she took a step to go back. Then she took back a step, like, oh no, I'll go back and do it. And then she realised, no, I better go back because they're all yelling at me. Come on.
So she stuffs up big time, and I was actually surprised she could talk. To be honest,
well,
I was like, she was screaming.
But the thing is that
that's going to ruin your voice.
About this Malolo tribe at that stage is that there was no way that Desiree and Callan were not voting the Malolo people.
Mm.
But this is a theme that goes on here for quite a while, and it's still going on.
Still
right?
kind of going on.
Yeah. So in episode 7, Mark gets his idol. Have we done that?
No, yeah, we've done that. But we just doing the I was just bringing Des and it was between Des and Bradley.
Yeah.
At Tribal.
So then episode 8.
Bradley goes home. Finally, thank God.
That's right. Bradley goes home because he completely stuffs it up.
Yeah.
So then episode 8, merge at last.
We get our merge. Great merge. Which, another great thing that was, this is Chris's challenge. They've each been given a buff. And Chris is like, what's in my head?
Yeah. Well, thank God he kept quiet.
Yeah, he played that so well.
Yeah, he did. So
and this is another thing.
Great.
Chris had some, like you said, when he went up and goes, I need to build a relationship with Jonathan. Yeah. And then he was like, there's something in my buff. And he didn't tell anyone, which was so, it was solid. But the thing is, he didn't tell anyone. No one, still to this day, no one probably knows unless they've just watched the episode.
Exactly right.
Because he kept it to himself. And I
did
love
the
that.
right thing.
That was one of my favourite things as well. Yes, we got the map in the last episode. But now we get this, a boat will come pick you up.
Yeah.
If you're there, great. If you're not, but you got to risk waking everyone up.
Look, Wendell, before we go to that, but Wendell tries to bring Dom and Chris together for a peace summit. And
I get what he's trying to do.
I get what he's trying to do, but Chris basically sat down and was like,
why you got me here?
Why you got me here? Yeah, and Dom, this
Dom
is the thing.
said it's not worth doing.
Yeah, but I think Chris was more honest about this, right? And Dom was a little less honest. Dom was like, look, I'll try, but he was more doing it because Wendell wanted him to, right? I think Dom and Chris both knew, sitting down there, that there was no possibility of...
You're coming... If I say you'll... And Chris was right.
Yeah,
if I say I'm going to agree to you, I'll agree to this little temporary... alliance and peace treaty. If I agreed to that, I could be the one that gets voted off.
Exactly.
Because I've got my guard down.
Exactly.
And I don't blame Chris for that at all.
No, look, I don't blame... there was nothing to be gained by Chris going to Wendell and Dom. Yeah, okay, let's go. Because then he's agreeing to their plan.
Yeah.
There's nothing in it for him.
There's nothing in it for him.
And I also see why Dom didn't agree. Or, even though Dom tried, I think he was more trying for Wendell. I don't think there was any real possibility.
Yeah, because he did say that to him. He was like, it's not really worth trying.
And after it was over, he said, that was a waste of 10 minutes.
It was a waste of 10 minutes.
Yeah,
so we weren't going to get anywhere with it. So it's interesting that Wendell wanted that. Wanted this weird piece. With Chris out of it, you still have the numbers anyway. Why does Wendell want to... Why does Wendell want to fix this relationship between the two of them?
I think episode 8 brings out something that has been a theme that's been going on through this season that I find is stronger than it's been in other seasons. And this is this whole thing about... And, in that tribal where I think it was James said, we were thrown together randomly. Mm-hmm. But there is this real Naviti loyalty.
But for no reason.
Exactly. That's the thing I can't get.
And it's not even... It's not even Australian Survivor Season 1, where they don't actually know how to play and they're just doing it and they've got the numbers. They're playing the numbers game and not making any moves. These guys know what should be happening.
The reason Wendell... This is the strange thing. The reason Wendell wanted Chris and Dom to settle down was not for any other reason than this. He wanted them to settle it down so that they could vote him Malolo.
The rest of Malolo,
But it's so weird. But then you've got Callan, Desiree, Chelsea, and Angela, right? Mm. Who have formed their own little group. And throughout the next 2 episodes, all they want to do is vote a Malolo. And I'm sitting there going, guys, merge has happened.
Yeah, I know.
There is no Malolo. There is no Naviti. But everybody on that tribe is trying for some reason.
You know what? If we just think about it, right from the very get-go, let's just use Malolo and Naviti.
Yeah.
Day 1, there's no Naviti, no Malolo.
That's it.
There is Robin, there is Jack.
Right.
Use your alliances when they're there. Yeah. Build alliances within these tribes, but get rid of the fucking tribe names. Because it's screwing you over. And look, yes, you've got the numbers, you're going forward, and you're still dominating. And that's something, I guess, the argument that you and I are putting forward is not valid because they are with the numbers, and now we've just got Michael basically on his own.
No, but this is the point. There is, Wendell wants stop the Dom Chris war because he wants to keep Naviti, right? They want to get rid of Malolo. His idea is to get rid of Malolo, right? And Callan and Chelsea and Angela and Desiree we want to get rid of Malolo. Why do you want to get rid of Malolo after merge?
I don't.
There's no bonus there.
Because what happens is you get rid of them, and then you've got you guys again, and then things get really nasty. And they get ugly then.
Then they get
because
ugly.
you're forced to be ugly. Not
Right.
you're already playing the game. You're now starting to play the game when everyone believes they're all on top.
And people on the bottom. This is the bit I don't get. The people on the bottom of the vet. This is one of the problems. One of the issues in Survivor is you should always be aware of your position in your alliance or your tribe. Are you on the bottom? Are you in the bottom third? Are you in the middle third? Are you in the top third? If you aren't in the top third of your alliance, whatever it is, tribal, you should be looking around at the other side and going, well, can I do a deal over here? Can I pull numbers from over there and get my way?
And so I guess the thing that comes into this is, say, the bottom Naviti. Are they just going, well, when we get to just Naviti, it's the middle third that want to be the top third, and they'll need us to screw up the top third. Is that the way they're thinking? Because one, it's leaving it
too late.
It's leaving it too late. But two, the biggest thing here is it's no longer your game. It's like, well, we made a move here. No, they made a move and brought you in.
Right?
Because they needed you to get rid of the top people, him or her, who's leading or commanding or in the top three. They had to try and shuffle things up. Whereas if you're already shuffling things up, you're doing something. You're not sitting around waiting to be a pawn.
Exactly. So anyway, look, where are we up to, Chris? Chris, I don't think this is a bad move. He takes everybody to the well and basically says, "This is my plan."
Well, this is after he's also snuck out and he's got his idol.
Oh well,
so yeah, he snuck out.
I was going to talk about that. Yeah, okay.
Because he does that after.
He gets the clue.
Yeah.
Right. You know, from the feast. Mind you, at the feast, I was there. Like as soon as the feast started, I was waiting for somebody to sit there and go, at the feast, this is a prime opportunity for a clue to be hidden in the napkins, under a plate, somewhere. There's something.
There's often.
I didn't see anybody looking.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
No one really looked, but maybe they just didn't because that was more exciting. I don't know, but surely 80%, 90% of the time, something could be hidden in a merge feast.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And it could be something, but anyway, nobody really looked. But in other episodes, in other seasons, we have seen people say, "Oh, well, look, as soon as I got the merge, I started looking for."
Yeah, it's like when they had the shaving stuff.
That's right.
And like, oh, this shave is just shaving.
It's just shaving cream, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, look, Chris gets the thing, and he goes. I really liked it. I thought, there's going to be a boat to take you to Go Silent. You have to be there to catch it.
Yeah. Middle of the night.
Can't
wake anyone up.
Can't wake anybody up. And Chris pulls it off.
And I didn't think he was going to.
Neither did I.
Because part of me, I'm like, why are you sleeping in the middle? Like, what are you doing?
Right?
Just sleep something. But I guess everyone has their spots, and if he's not sleeping in his regular spot, it looks
suspicious,
weird.
maybe.
So that was my first.
But he got out.
He snuck
I could not
and,
believe it.
And he's like, and I loved the voiceover that they'd played. He's like, I'm a clutch. Sort of guy.
Yeah.
But the way he was sneaking out was not very...
It wasn't. No, it wasn't.
It looked ridiculous, but it worked. It was a ridiculous looking sneak out, but it was effective.
But he got there and he got his advantage, and I think he did the right thing. I would have tried to have gotten as many tribals.
Well, the thing was, there wasn't much to lose, was there?
Not really.
You either... And this is where I think Chris just got confidence or comfortable. Because to me,
I think you know what it was. I think
trusted.
I think what he did was he went down when he was talking to him at the
when he comes back
at the well, right? Yeah. He was pretty adamant that this was a pretty obvious plan. As far as he could see, there was no downside to it for anyone, right? Well, that's one of his words. He says, "Look, I don't see a downside." In his one-on-one to camera, he says, "I don't see a downside for anybody."
Because his plan was to go Dom and Wendell and split.
5 Dom, 4 Wendell.
Yeah.
Right?
In this war that is Dom versus Chris.
Yes.
So my thing is, why does he assume all the other tribe people
are on his side?
This is the flaw.
Yes.
So if he didn't have that mentality, I think there was no loss to trying to get more days, because his vote, he didn't need to. Technically, he didn't need a vote. He needed one person's vote.
Exactly.
So he could go, yeah, cool, because it wasn't like you play, you've got this idol, it's worth, you can use it tonight. You play on, it can be used further.
Yeah.
Or you'll lose your vote. Not it can be used further, or you lose the idol entirely and your vote. So there was really no downside to kind of taking it. Great, I've got it for one vote regardless.
Yeah.
Then I get it for two votes.
Look,
it just extends its usage.
I think it just goes back to, though, as far as... I think you made that decision based simply on the... I think of, when he pitched his plan to the group, he didn't see why anybody wouldn't go with it. You know, I think he was that confident in the plan.
Yeah,
it's very strange, because Survivor isn't about plans. It is about plans, but it's also about having reliable people you can pull them off with.
Yeah, and he didn't have that.
He didn't at all.
But because he tried to get... I really struggled to understand a lot of this, because he had a guaranteed idol to save his life.
And
then he had it for the next night. So right now the war is you and Dom. This is the war. Well, so it's me and him are the main targets. I am guaranteed tonight.
Yes.
Technically, so is Dom.
Exactly.
Because you know he's got an idol.
Idol.
You don't know Wendell has an idol.
No.
But you want to split the votes to Wendell, who yes, he's in partnership with your nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
But is actually fairly well liked across the board.
Exactly.
So splitting it with someone who's fairly well liked is just to me it's
well, no, I think the mistake with him was taking. The mistake wasn't taking everybody to the well. The mistake was saying, look, clearly there's an issue between me and Dom. I would like to see the back of Dom, but I would like a 5 vote on Dom.
Yeah.
Right. And who would be a good second vote? If he hadn't have made it a card Dom and Wendell.
Yeah.
Because at that stage,
well, he had to, because he had everyone else from.
I know, but what I mean is, like, I think if he had, this is why I'm saying, maybe he should have worked with smaller groups of people.
Yeah, he definitely should have. He shouldn't have he should have probably read the tribe a little better as a whole. And I know you've only been together as a whole but you can't
20 odd days.
You can't bring 12 people, however many people together.
There are factions.
Yeah, and assume there is never, ever going to be unity. That's just not possible within this amount of people who have been mixed up, who have started as tribes, and then been mixed up as tribes, and then been mixed up as a 3. You've had so many relationships built, and
you
it's
should know
foolish.
Somebody in those 12 has a relationship with Dom and Wendell.
Yeah, or someone has it with Dom, or someone has it with Wendell.
Exactly.
Or someone you should definitely know doesn't have it with you that isn't just Dom.
Exactly. Right.
So you're not that well liked. Yeah.
So I don't think it was executed very well. So, but look, I don't really fault him for it though.
I fault him for his lack of and I would have played the game. I would have played the game he played at Ghost Island 100%, because to me I saw no downside, because I've got. Yes, I don't have a vote. If I stuff up and I don't get to the end, I don't have a vote for tonight. But I've got a safety net, and if your head wasn't on the chopping block, think about trying to save it.
The other thing is, though,
use the idol.
In this episode, in episode 8, right, the merge, we're down to merge. There are 2 names floating around. It's me or Chris. It's Dom or me. On that basis of a 50-50 vote, you should be sitting there and going, I've got an idol, I need to play it.
Yeah, because if you don't...
It's 50-50.
Exactly. And because what's the... And then just breaking it down to go, okay, so why is it Dom or myself on the chopping block? Because we clash.
Yeah.
Not because people don't like us.
Exactly.
It's because we really can't get along.
Mm.
So if we remove... Because it was Dom or Chris.
It was.
Dom or Chris.
It was.
If Dom was to go, yes, Chris is still a threat, but maybe we've got other things now.
If Dom goes, then there's no clash.
There's no clash.
So now we can work with Chris.
Yeah, there's some people that go, I can work with Chris now. I don't really care.
Well, even Libby and Jenna were like Libby pitched that. Well, the good thing about keeping Chris instead of Dom is she said, look, Dom will lie to you, right?
Yeah.
But Chris, you'll know.
You know exactly what he's doing.
You'll know exactly what he's doing because he'll tell you.
Yeah.
He won't lie to you because he's so confident. He doesn't think he has to.
Yeah.
Right? So there was a really good reason to keep Chris around.
That was a really, really legitimate reason because Dom can play.
Exactly.
He seems to be able to play.
The other great reason to keep Chris around is he is a big physical threat.
Mm-hmm.
What a target.
Yeah.
If you can keep this guy around for a while.
You're safe.
You're safe, right? So I think
there was definitely benefits to keep, but it was just Chris's lack of understanding the tribe or understanding the reason.
That's what I mean. I think it was Chris's dynamic with the tribe.
Yeah.
That failed in the end. It was his social game that failed because he didn't do it right.
And on top of that, look, I don't mind you taking everyone's side. I think it's a bit much to ask everyone.
It's too much to ask everyone.
But if you did that, then all you need to go is, I don't have a vote. This is the one thing I think was missing on the whole is I don't have a vote.
So you need that.
I need a vote. I need one person to vote for Wendell or one person to vote someone else because if I play my idol
and Dom plays his,
Dom will play his.
Yeah,
great.
Exactly.
So who else can go home?
Who else can go home?
It's that game of chess. I think
Absolutely.
He had one move.
Yeah.
And he had no backups to that move.
All he needed to do was find two people to write Wendell's name down. That's all he needed.
The best thing that could have happened to him and someone like him in that situation was when he played that game to get no vote first off.
Yeah, exactly.
So he only had one night because it was that little bit of greed inside every human that goes, well, I don't want to play it tonight because what if I kept it and played it next night? Well, that's why he didn't play it because he's like, I'll play it because if he didn't play it tonight, 100% he can't use it anymore. He'll play it the next night.
No, of course. But I think the only reason he didn't was he was so confident in his plan coming off.
Yeah, well, he's confident in the plan, but I think that it's also
a bit of false confidence.
Yeah. But if he only had it for that one night, he still might be confident. He can still play it for safety.
Yeah.
And having it for an extra night.
I think he made a mistake, as you point out. Like, if there's two names going around camp, play your idol. Just out of safety. I mean, it may be one vote in it.
Yeah, and exactly. It's and that one vote is Wendell because Dom has Wendell.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have a wingman.
But here's the weird thing about episode 8. Callan, Chelsea, Desiree and Angela, right? Sit there and go, well, there's a war between Chris and Dom, but we can get out who we want to get out. And this is the one I mean by this weird Naviti thing is still going on. They sit there and they go, well, how can we... And this is their point. How can we get out of Malolo? Their point wasn't who's the biggest threat or who's somebody that's a danger to us.
Or who can flip... Where can we flip the game? It wouldn't have made any difference getting out of Malolo.
Exactly. It makes no difference at this stage.
Yeah.
But their big thing was, well, the boys can go at it, but we think that's wrong. How can we get rid of a Malolo, right? And I'm sitting there... they've just merged, and they're thinking Malolo. I'm like,
because now,
how dumb can you be?
Yeah.
Right? Anyway, we'll move on.
It doesn't make any sense.
Anyway, look, Chris does not play his side. Dom does play his advantage, and
then on top of that, Chris still didn't play.
I know, it's just bizarre, but Chris sits there and just doesn't play, and
that's the weird thing. Like, if I was like, okay, it's me or Chris, or me or Dom,
it is
one of them plays an idol, and I've got an idol, I'm playing it.
Look,
and then we'll leave it up to chance.
All he had to do was sit there and think, Dom's just played his idol. Let's say Dom does get 5 or 6 votes, right? What if there's 3 votes for me? That will be enough.
That's
to
enough.
Send at home at this stage. I better play this.
What are you like? That's because I don't know why, but that moment right now is like, as we're talking about it, really frustrates me.
Yeah, it is. It's very frustrating
because you watch him play, and I'm like, okay, cool.
Chris,
I better play.
Had no reason not to play the idol in effect.
Yeah.
He had no reason to hang on to it.
Yeah, exactly. Because at the time, it's like, if no one plays anything, I'm going to play. Now we'll leave it up to fate. We'll leave it up to chance. We'll leave it up to the plan. But when your plan is to vote out Dom,
and he plays an idol.
And you're hoping, well, the majority will still be stacked on Wendell. Like, that's just delusional.
That's right.
You've got to cover yourself really strong with, sweet, I'm going to play because he's played.
He's played. I've got to play.
And then the worst case scenario is it was all Dom, all Chris.
Yeah.
A split 5-4, whatever it is, 6-5, whatever the split was. You are both immune.
Yeah, exactly.
And they've got to vote again.
They've got to vote again.
And they're going to pick someone else.
So
And
you
you
can
know
sit
what?
back and watch the chaos.
You can watch the chaos and go, well, shit, what other plans are out in the open?
Exactly.
Libby,
You can get
Wendell.
info
It's going to
doing
be
this.
Libby or Wendell.
Yeah, that's right. So anyway, look.
Bizarre. Really bizarre. And because
it's
it was...
probably one of the most bizarre mergers I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Right.
And just a bizarre play by a person who shouldn't... Like, and he's just, I'm not going to be done by this same curse. And
he was.
it's just absolute foolishness to have not played it.
Well, that's the thing. He wasn't cursed. He was just...
An idiot.
Well, not an idiot. I just think he made it. He should have just sat there and got, Dom's playing an idol. I need to play because it's 50-50. There's 2 horses in this race.
Yeah.
And I'm the other horse.
Yeah.
I need to play that. So anyway, then
So
we
he
move
deserved
on.
to go home.
He did. Episode 9. The latest episode.
The latest episode. Before today's episode.
Wendell thinks Lauren's a little skittish, right? So he sits down, he talks to her, and I'm thinking, well, that's a good move. If you think somebody's like straying outside the alliance, let's bring them back in, make sure they feel, included and part of the alliance. But then he sits there and tells her that Dom has an idol, right? And she's like, oh, Dom's got an idol. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's got
okay. And then he tells her that he's got an idol. And you see exactly... Laurel, in this episode, shows you exactly why you should never tell anybody you've got an idol.
Yeah.
Because her the first thought is not, oh, wow, thanks for trusting me. Her first thought is, now I know I can't trust you.
Yeah. You've told me everything to build trust, but now I realise I need to get you out.
Get you out. And he's put a nail in his coffin with his relationship with Laurel. Yeah. Right? And this is the downside.
And he's also put a target. He's put a target on his back.
Exactly.
I don't think he had a target.
Now Laurel's like, as soon as she goes to the academy, she's like, they've got too much power. Dom and Wendell together have got too much power. They've both got idols. Blah, blah, blah. She knows, she can see the writing on the wall. Yeah. Right? She knows they're really tight. So... it's just... all he needed to do was just have a nice conversation with her, assure her, and that would have been done.
It's still fascinating how within all that, they still managed to stay, we've got to get rid of these, we're going to stay together.
Well, this is how it gets weird.
It's like you've got Libby and Michael are the only ones on the outs.
Exactly, right? Malolo comes up again, right? Anyway, Jenna goes to Ghost Island, doesn't get anything.
Oh, that's right. So Jenna was floating
around. Now, here's the interesting part. Or one of the interesting parts. Angela decides that she wants to see a war, right? So she's talking to Michael, and she goes to Callan and Chelsea and says, Michael doesn't, said this about you. And then she goes to Dom and Wendell and she goes, Michael said this about you. And I had to laugh here because it's such a stupid plan. If you want a war, you get 2 sides to go at each other, right?
No, you don't get the guy who's clearly...
Everybody's going for it anyway.
Yeah, right? Michael's been in the mix to be going very soon.
And she's just lining them up on Michael, but they've lined up on him anyway.
Yeah, he's already inside.
I think the previous episode, somebody said, well, I'd rather get rid of Libby because Michael's an easy sell.
Yeah.
Right?
And that was a good thing. It's like, he's physical.
Yeah.
We can get rid of Michael, or we can pitch to get rid of Michael anytime.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Libby will be a harder one to...
But here's Angela's... I've had military training in, psychological warfare or whatever it is, right? It actually reminded me a little bit of Debbie when she starts talking about this, right? Yeah. I'm going to create a war. I want to see a war. I want to see chaos. And, at the end, the bodies will be all lying around me and I'll be the only one standing, right? Yeah. And she goes and picks on Michael. And I was waiting for her to go to Dom. I was waiting for her to go to Dom and go, like, oh, look, Sebastian and these people are, they're not happy with you. Yeah, and then to go to Callan and that, and go, Dom and Wendell, they were saying Chelsea.
Is it because...
just make... But nothing like that was done.
Is it because that they haven't done that, and then if she starts spreading lies and rumours, she's going to end up being...
Well, that's the other thing. She talks to Michael and actually tells him what he says, rather than...
a legitimate thing.
That doesn't look like psychological warfare to me. That just looks like you've taken squealing on people.
Yeah, exactly. You've taken information and gone back to the tribe, and hopefully they trust you more. It's
just weird. But she's just like, oh, I'm going to create a war. I'm like, that's not a war. That's just picking on the poor guy at the bottom, like kicking the dog while he's down. Yeah, but that was
while he's trying to come up with a plan,
yes,
you just relay the plan back, and that's poor on Michael's judgment.
Oh, absolutely.
Thinking that he's got a chance here.
Angela's grandiose war. Let's pick on Michael. You know. But this weird thing keeps coming up. Callan, Chelsea, Desiree, right? How can we get out another Malolo?
If you really want to take the game on and be so strong and independent, take out one of your threats.
Right? But no, it's, you know, this is the first vote after merge, right? You know, normally the first one's a bit crazy, right? And then it settles down. But here they are still thinking...
it's the second vote after merge.
That's right. They're still thinking Malolo.
And it's like, it's weird.
It's weird.
It's so weird because you vote out a Malolo that the other ones weren't planning on voting out. You still voted out a Malolo. There's still the numbers, and you haven't affected
anything.
You haven't really done anything. We wanted Libby out, but we got Michael out. Shucks. Look, that sucks because we really wanted Libby out. It still works in your favour.
Michael actually came up with a good plan. He pitched it to Libby and to Desiree and to Donathan and Laurel, right? Well, even Donathan and Laurel, when they were talking together, Donathan says to Laurel, look, I just feel like if we lose a Malolo, I'm not... Well, he says in his one-on-one numbers. I'm not going to make it... I'm not going to win this game, yeah? And he even says to Laurel, look, I feel like we should be voting with Malolo this time because we need to even up.
But there was a fear thing, and I think that the downside for them is those two are strong, and their closest alliances is the Dom and Wendell alliance. So they're really, yes, they should be breaking them up, but that's their closest. We'll build another relationship.
But the problem that is there is their closest relationship is Dom and Wendell, right? But everybody keeps voting Malolo.
Yeah.
I would be sitting there and going, well, what's going to happen when me and Laurel are the only two Malolos left?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, all I've got is Dom and Wendell, and there's going to be 5 more Naviti.
Yeah.
That's not enough to save us.
No.
Right? And this is the problem I have. They're just not adding up the numbers.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
It's just weird.
To exclude those two. Yes, I know they had the thought process, but I know they're like, and I know I just feel it's a matter of going, shit, we do want to get rid of them some way, but actually we could be going to the Final Four with these two at the same time. It's like, we should get rid of them because they've both got idols, they're both really close, they're both powerful.
Well, if Dom, this is the thing though, I'd be sitting there and saying to Dom and Wendell, right, well, if we are a 4, what's wrong with voting out a Naviti?
Yeah.
Somebody else that's not you two.
Yeah.
They should be quite down with that. They should be like, yeah, okay, they should be able to go to Dom and Wendell and say, let's get a big threat.
Well, yeah, exactly, and they shouldn't pitch it in, let's get rid of a Naviti.
No,
let's
exactly.
get rid of a threat. Those 4 girls are really tight.
Exactly right.
And if we can make them 3 while we've got the numbers.
Exactly.
Forget the names of your tribes.
Yeah,
Forget which school you went to in high school. Like, drop it already. Yeah. Play your bloody alliance.
But they're not. They're playing... But I think Donathan and Laurel should test Dom and Wendell and say, well, look, Chelsea and Callan...
There's 4 of them.
There's 4 of them,
us.
and they're trying to vote out Malolo all the time. Let's get rid of them.
And look, and you still have the numbers.
Yep.
You still can, but you now leave it up to this. What you're now effectively doing is almost giving Michael more power as a swing vote.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it is Will and Michael now, correct?
Sooner or later, Naviti have to divide.
Yeah.
And when that happens, it won't be when there's no Malolo left.
Yeah.
It's going to happen when there's 2 or 3 of them left, and then they're going to have the power.
Yeah, and I think the funny thing is here is like, and even in this, the dynamic we're left with, I think Donathan and Laurel also think, well, it's just going to be us 2 and Michael. No, you've built a solid alliance.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how they even talk about it. I'm like, no, you should have been using those 2 together, because then because now you swing Michael across if you can pitch the better story.
Yeah.
You swing him across, he'll swing wherever he wants. But if you went, okay, we need to get rid of someone here, bring these two in, and if you needed to, get rid of a Wendell or a Dom.
Yep.
You've still got 5. Then get rid of one of them, but you've still got your 4 core. I don't know.
In post mode, you should be looking around for people you can play with, people who are willing to do deals, people who are willing to play with you, right? And what you should be picking your targets on is the people who won't work with you. These are the prime targets for you, because then you know I can't work with them because they don't want to work with me.
Yeah.
Right? Who's a prime target like that? Well, Callan has never, ever strayed outside Naviti.
No.
Right? So as a Malolo player, I'm sitting there going, well, you've drawn your line in the sand.
Yeah, you're still not letting that go.
You're not letting that go, so you're a dead loss to me. And you can add people up like that, and you can go, okay, well, there's 4 of you like that.
Yeah.
Guess what? I've got my 4 hit list here.
Yeah, it's just a fascinating thing, and then we get.
But it's still going on.
It's still going on. It's just
so
bizarre,
strange.
and I feel like your Jonathan and Laurel feel included and they're safe. But like I said, what happens if it doesn't?
Yeah.
And what happens if it does get down to you get rid of Michael and you got 4-4? Where are they going? It's easy to pick put you two at the bottom because there's got to be something.
That's right. It's easy for Dom and Wendell to turn around and just go, well, see you later, guys.
Yeah.
We're going to join up with these two.
Yeah, and then we'll get rid of them later
Yeah.
because we've both got idols. We can do some plays, and it's just really bizarre how it's working out. And maybe the 4 girls, they should be getting. I don't know. But then we get Libby, who doesn't really. She knows she's on the bottom, and like I think you mentioned it.
Well,
before.
she's gotten votes for 3 councils in
And
a
she's
row.
also, like you said when I was having a quick little catch up,
Yeah.
you said that she makes the big mistake of actually taking it personally and saying, "What am I doing wrong as a human?
Exactly.
Like, why don't you like me?"
And Chelsea and Angela give her exactly the information that she shouldn't have been gotten, of course, right?
Yeah.
They're not there to help her,
No.
right? But she thinks, but she takes it to heart and thinks, well, I've got to lessen my relationship with Michael.
Yeah.
The relationship with Michael is not
What
the problem. The problem is your Malolo.
Yeah.
That's the only problem.
And you did one sneaky thing and someone said, "Don't trust the blonde" back in the early days.
exactly.
And that's kind of stuck. And you've had that. And it wasn't really a sneaky thing. You were just playing for you. And that's, you played the game.
I think the only problem was, and this goes back to this Naviti alliance rubbish at this stage of the game, I don't think Libby could make any. I don't think this is the problem. I think even if Malolo are trying to cross the line, apart from Dom and Wendell, I don't think there's anybody over there that wants to listen to them.
No, and in that case, so we get this. We get this moment. Oh, funnily enough, because I was about to go into like where tribal sits.
Yeah.
I've been saying recently. I don't know if I said it to you, but I know I've definitely said it to Catherine, my partner, that. Because she's relatively new to Survivor because I watch it.
Poor girl.
Yeah. But I'm like, you know what they haven't had for a while? An eating challenge. Maybe they don't do it.
They did have one.
And then bang,
Yeah, I know.
this episode, eating challenge.
Yeah,
I've
I
been
know.
saying it for a while. I'm like, they used to do this thing when there was 2 tribes that spin a wheel, that have to challenge
jeez.
off, or in this case, they're whittling down to the sole survivor. And who won? Who won?
Angela,
and she just shoves
I
the
know.
slug,
But
just swallows it whole.
Michael came
Michael did well, and I
very close second.
Yeah, and I love the fact that he's like, I'm just going to finish it anyway.
Exactly.
And his response was, oh God, to me, was beautiful. He's like, I'm only going to be here once. Most likely. I'm not going to
complete everything.
Yeah, I want to do it because I'm never going to get this chance. I'm like, that's such a cool outlook. Anyway.
But anyway, look, we get the tribal.
And
Michael plays his idol.
Michael
correctly.
plays his idol.
Look, at that stage, I'm not sure how much he knew, but like, I think if it was everybody was keeping silent and giving him different names, kudos to him. He figured it out.
Yeah, Michael's playing great. But the thing is, he knew he was on the bottom.
Yeah,
like, that's
exactly.
the thing. He knows he's on the bottom. And this must, and he knows it's between him and Libby.
Yeah, so, well...
It's 50-50 chance between him and Libby.
He pulls out the idol, saves himself, and he gets 8 votes or something. Some ridiculous amount of votes.
They didn't bother to split.
They did because, Libby got 2, and that sent her home.
Yeah.
But I think that was the girls. I think that was Callan and Chelsea,
that was a
right?
couple
Those 4 would have split their votes to make sure.
Yeah,
if Michael did pull out an idol, at least Libby.
But this is the thing, with Libby, because obviously she She was on the bottom, and she's known she's on the bottom. She's like, what am I doing wrong? And then the way she decides to work with this is not... You know, I feel like if you're backed into a corner, like Michael and Libby were, your bond will grow so much stronger if you can work a way out, which there was, in this situation, 100% was a way out. For this moment for her, or almost a way out. Because she probably would have been... If it was a draw, if it was a tie, they would have just gone to vote those two again, regardless.
Yeah, exactly.
And they all would have stacked Libby.
Yeah.
But there was still a chance, and her game has... I just feel like you didn't go to Michael and say, what can we do?
Oh, look, I don't know.
Or was she doomed, right? There was no chance for her?
Look, I don't think there was, because I think this is the problem. I think you've got 4 girls sitting there going, Naviti.
Yeah.
Let's get rid of a Malolo. Look, I think the real problem for Libby is you've got those 4 sitting there gunning for her, and they've given her votes for 3 episodes, right? So you got 4 women there sitting there going, we've got to get rid of Libby,
Yeah.
for no apparent reason that I can fathom, but that's the reason that's what... I think the real failure here is Donathan and Laurel.
Well, that's what, as if I was Libby, why am I not going to Donathan and Laurel?
Well, that's right, but that's the thing though. Donathan and Laurel were one of the people who said, I forget if it was to Libby or Michael, Michael came to
Michael's
them
pitched them.
and pitched them. If all the Malolo vote together here, we can send one of them home.
Yeah.
And that's where it's falling down. It's not actually that Naviti is so strong. It's also that... in one sense, Malolo is stronger. Because Malolo are willing to cross lines. Malolo aren't just voting Malolo, right? Malolo are willing to make relationships on the other side.
Yeah, but...
They're actually playing the game, whereas Naviti's just sitting there going, Naviti.
Yeah, but do you think Donathan and Laurel... Do you think it's... I think they've crossed the line and not so much... I feel like they've crossed it out of necessity.
No, look, I think, when they're on the small tribe, for sure it was out of necessity. But I think, when they voted out Bradley...
Yeah.
Right? And I know Laurel wasn't there for that, but Donathan was, right? I think, that relationship that Laurel and Donathan formed with Dom and Wendell has played out for them. They think it's solid and it's going somewhere.
And it might be.
It may be.
But why couldn't they get rid of one of the 4 girls?
Well, no, this is the thing. It's great to sit there and go, that's my point, is like, you've got this relationship with Dom and Wendell, right? So if we are the 4, everybody else is a target.
Yeah, everyone's
regardless of what they're talking about. It doesn't matter that those 4 are saying, well, Naviti first. For us 4, it doesn't matter. We just get rid of our biggest threat.
And let's just break that down again. So we've got 4 with 6 people remaining. You don't have the numbers.
No, that's right.
You don't have the numbers because there's 6 people out there. And you have the closest connection with the 2 outsiders.
Yeah.
You can make it 6-4 because you're willing to drop your tribe name and play the game.
Exactly, yeah.
Whereas here you're like, okay, cool. We can go Michael and Libby, but what if... And Michael's come with a really great pitch, but maybe he's trying to pitch the wrong people.
Yeah, yeah.
And go, don't focus on those 2 people. Go, actually, no, let's not get rid of Wendell, but what if we got rid of the other 2? And go, because Michael and Libby are screwed.
Well, Michael didn't pitch Wendell. He just pitched, we can get rid of a Naviti.
Yes, true. Right. We can get rid of a Naviti. And that's
so he left it up to them to choose.
Maybe, yeah, exactly. But maybe saying Naviti was the wrong way for Michael to pitch it. He's like, look, well, you guys, you can use us too. And I don't know, but it's just like... I
think Michael's point was like...
Michael, a great point.
Look, they are, and I think this is, and we've seen this before in other games, his point is just this, they are voting Malolos.
Yeah.
That's what they're voting. They're voting Malolos. That's not playing the game, that's just voting Malolos, right? If we want to play this game, we're going to have to even the numbers up.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a matter of necessity, of survival to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And Donathan and Laurel didn't go with it.
And maybe he didn't pitch strong enough that you two could, after you get rid of Libby and myself, what's the chances of Dom and Wendell just voting at you two off?
Exactly, yeah.
Because right now there was a really great, it's a really great opportunity to get rid of the tribe names, to actually play the game, use them. And I think Michael made a great pitch. I just don't think Libby made a pitch. Libby was too hurt by being voted so many times.
I think Libby... I don't think
and just wanted to be liked.
Yeah, I don't think Libby... I think Libby was basically confused at the end. I don't think she really knew what to do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, but then you're not playing... Oh no, you're right. She's not playing the game at that point because she's too wrapped up in what am I doing right, what am I doing wrong, instead of doing something. Yeah,
Michael,
she's just trying to please, and I'll accept, I'll intermingle with them.
Please, but I think you're right. I think she's just tried to have a generally good relationship with everyone, rather than... It's hard to say though, because this Naviti line seems to be pretty solid, like I said, right? But Michael at least has tried pitching. He has tried... Even when
Michael's the best player in the season.
I think at the moment, yeah. For sure, 100%. I think the worst players are the Callan, Chelsea, Desiree.
They've got a strong four to a degree, but they're not doing anything.
No, they're
with
not
that
doing
four.
it. No, that's
it's
right.
Silly.
It's about Malolo.
Because it is also about Malolo, but it's also about not what Dom and Wendell.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
It still doesn't help your game because.
But it's almost like
get rid of a Dom and a Wendell, and then you've taken the game.
That's
and gone, well, it's us four. We're powerful. Who's joining us?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
We're mixing things up.
But so anyway, look, it's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's odd. It's odd, and maybe
I was hoping by this stage that of the game overall in Survivor, that a lot of people would realise after merge, tribal lines of necessity have to be crossed.
Yeah.
If you want to get to the end, you're not going to make it with them, by sticking with... James summed it up perfectly in that tribal. You got lumped together with random people.
Yeah.
Random people aren't going to help you.
No.
Right? You got to pick your people and go get them.
And it's kind of frustrating, but I'm glad... Look, sad to see Libby go because Libby was Michael's only...
Oh, I know.
Only
real
solid.
Support. Yeah.
And he's got no support now at all. And not that she was strong support because she just buckled under the pressure of needing to be liked, unfortunately.
But we may have a situation here of
Oh, we have. Michael's not going home next week. No way.
Well, I hope not.
I can't see him.
But that's what I mean. Michael has been on the block for a long time, right? Yeah. And usually the fact he's survived this long means he's actually got skills and he's developed as a player, right? So if he actually makes it through, I'd say, next week.
And I actually didn't.
I
didn't see the next time on Survivor last night when I was catching up, so I don't actually know what's happening tonight.
Yeah, well, I generally try not to.
I'm excited because I usually see him like, I know what this is going to be. This is the first time I haven't.
Because they normally do cuts that lead you down the wrong path.
But they also lead you down a path where you know what the episode's kind of going to be about, and you know it's going to be about these two.
Yeah. Exactly.
So I don't actually know.
No.
And I usually know. So I feel, it's like, I don't feel. I feel like.
What Michael needs to happen right now is for chaos to erupt.
Yeah.
What he needs is for distrust and paranoia.
He just needs to make himself, rather than put it as a 3-6 situation. He needs to put the 4-4 against each other.
Exactly, or something like that. You know, or 3 versus 5. Or
He just needs to go these 4. He needs to put himself as the swing.
He needs the Naviti crew to break apart.
Yeah, somehow. And I think naturally, with the Dom, Wendell, Donathan, Laurel tentative 4 that's potential, he's naturally just going to sit as a swing vote, and it is going to be whoever he wants to go.
Look, to tell you the truth, I agree with you. I think he's the best player there at the moment. Yeah. And at 18, I've got to say, he's playing like a much more mature person.
He is. He doesn't come across as 18 at all. No, because we've had young players on prior, and they just... we've had 18-year-olds. There was that 18-year-old with a really deep voice. They just don't. And he was so out of his depth. He was so like, come on, kid, we'll show you the ropes. He just had no idea what he was doing. I forget his name.
Michael's doing really well.
Yeah, and he's been doing. I think he's been playing well right.
Well, that's the thing. I will say this. You know, even if he goes out next week, I will have been happy to have watched Michael play.
Yeah, and I just can't see him going out. I just can't.
I hope not.
Yeah, the way Survivor.
He needs to. I think he just needs to survive that one more week, and then it'll break open. The game will break open.
Well, the thing is, if they're smart enough, there's no more weeks.
Well, this is the thing. At this stage of the game, my thing is this, and it always has been at merge. Even though you may be hesitant to think this way, the game has actually broken open. Yeah. Sticking with the old tribal alliances is pretty much a dead hand at that point.
And it's just going to lead to the remaining the top.
Exactly.
And it gets nasty, and it also becomes this weird venom at people just really hate that they got voted out because we've been together for so long. Well, someone has to go.
Yeah, exactly.
And if Dom and Wendell can't sit there and go, well, we've got Jonathan and Laurel at the moment. Those other four, if we just keep voting these, us two are by ourselves. And those four will get us off we had so much power. But those four...
I think maybe, look, Dom and Wendell have had Chris in their sights. The whole Chris thing for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's made them a bit myopic. And I also think they've both got idols. That gives you a level of maybe complacency that you shouldn't have in the game at this point. You know, because you can sit there and go, well, if I get into trouble, I do have an idol. And that maybe stops you going and talking to that person, you know, or that person. You know, you may think, well, I don't really need to talk to them. Instead of like, if you didn't have an idol, like, maybe I just need to talk to everyone. Yeah. You know, and get on. So anyway, that's where we're at.
And that's it. Yeah. That's the episode. So sorry it's been so long. But we're back. And we'll do the next episode on Monday.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait, who do you think's going to go home?
Oh, next week.
One of the four girls.
I'm not going to pick. I'm not going to pick Michael.
No, I think he's not going home.
Right.
I think you're an idiot to get rid of Michael now. Yes, he's a threat. I get it. He's a threat. But the threat isn't an individual at the moment. The threat isn't an individual who's on the bottom.
No, that's right.
The threat is the numbers that can dismantle your numbers.
Look,
I reckon it's the girls. One of the four girls.
Yeah, you reckon?
I don't know which one, but it has to be. If I'm picking sides.
Yeah, okay.
If I'm picking a side, I think Michael will swing to Laurel Donovan's side. Yeah,
look, I think Naviti's going to break open, and you're right. The girls are obviously going to emerge in that as an obvious faction.
Because I also think the girls will be like, they want to get rid of Michael. I think they want to get rid of Michael. Yeah. But we're going to get rid of another Malolo.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be Jonathan.
Yeah.
Or it's going to be Laurel.
The funny you should say that. I was thinking maybe Jonathan or Laurel might go.
Yeah, and that'll happen if the girls win and the girls pull Michael over. So, which they could do. And they're actually, they're thinking Malolo. But they're also thinking, not what Don and Wendell want. Sure. We want to play our own game. And so they might reach out to Michael first to get rid of one of them. Yeah, look,
I'll vote for Jonathan for going home.
So you're going to vote for the other. Basically, if you'll vote for the other side, you'll vot for the girls to come. Yeah. I'm voting for the other way.
Yeah. Look. To be honest, I think for the game, for viewership, for watching the game, I think it'd be great if Callum or Chelsea or Desiree went home. Because it'd break the game open because they're just so locked into this tribal thing. Yeah. It's just but we want to have the power in our tribe. It's odd. It is odd. All right. Anyway, so that's who I picked.
That's it, and I'll pick Des just for the sake of it.
And thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully you didn't leave us in the break.
Take care, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.
See ya.